Thanks for joining us this hour for news from around the world. I'm Joke Rogers. Here's what's coming up. Plus, severe winter storm ravages Charlotte in the United States. Ecuador's President Daniel Noboa has ordered the criminal gangs be neutralized following days of violence that culminated in a horrific incident where gunmen invaded a TV station, and it was caught live on air. The gunmen, all masked, forced staff to the floor. 2 employees were injured in that incident. Police responded about 30 minutes later and arrested 13 people. At least 10 people have been killed since a 60-day state of emergency began in Ecuador on Monday. The emergency was declared after a notorious gangster vanished from his prison cell. It's unclear whether the incident at the TV studio in Guayaquil was related to the disappearance from a prison in the same city of the boss of the Choneros gang, Adolfo Macias Villamar, or Tito, as he's better known. President Noboa and said on Tuesday that an internal armed conflict now existed in the country, and he was mobilizing the armed forces to carry out military operations to neutralize what he calls transnational organized crime, terrorist organizations, and belligerent non-state actors. Well, the U.S. White House is scratching its head over how the health status of the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, is. It says President Joe Biden was only told Mr. Austin was being treated for cancer on Tuesday. The 70-year-old was admitted to hospital on January 1 and then to the intensive care unit for complications following surgery in December. He has faced criticism for not telling senior officials about it for days. He has since apologized for not ensuring the public was appropriately informed. The lag in notifying the White House raised potential national security concerns and issues of transparency within the Biden administration.
He was not informed until last Friday that Secretary Austin was in the hospital. He was not informed until this morning that the root cause of that hospitalization was prostate cancer.
I mean, Secretary Austin put out a statement and he took full responsibility for this. So I would refer you back to the statement, and Secretary Austin was very clear, and we appreciate that he has taken responsibility for this, but I also want to say that we certainly hope that he fully recovers and also gets back to the Pentagon, so I'll leave it there, but his statement was very clear the other day. Have complete confidence in the Secretary. That is something that we have said. The President has complete confidence in the Secretary. Obviously, there is a review that the Pentagon is doing. They announced that yesterday. They're going to take a review of how this process went, and we'll let that review process move forward. But again, the President has full confidence in the Secretary.
Nothing's changed about our view here, that we don't support a ceasefire at this time. And there's no change to that because we don't believe that benefits anybody but Hamas right now. We do continue to support humanitarian pauses, but not a general ceasefire right now. The President wasn't signaling any change at all. In fact, he was signaling very much a very consistent view that he has had since the beginning of the conflict.
Welcome back. Our feature today is on the work of this year's Gender Equality Prize winner, who was honored in Finland in December. Over the past few years, she has dedicated her life to fighting for the rights of Afghan women, more so since the Taliban retake about 2 years ago, even though the 76-year-old has lived in exile in New York City for 26 years. She says a love for her people has seen her make several trips back. Here's her exclusive with our Foreign Affairs correspondent, Amarachi Ubani, in Tampere, Finland.
Afghanistan, life is very difficult, actually, even right now, very, very difficult. But at the same time, it's my home, Afghanistan is home. And I love that country very much. I love everything about it, because everything in that country belongs to me. I feel like, The Taliban, whoever takes over, as I always tell them, and I told the Taliban the same thing, I don't care who is the government of Afghanistan. Government comes and government goes. But whatever remains are the people. And I am one of those people, and I will work for the people of Afghanistan. And I want you to know that. My organization was established actually in 2003 by another amazing lady. Her name is Maria Krami. And she, this organization was established actually also to do the, to help the abused women. Afghan women are some of the most abused women in the world for some reason. And the abuse has nothing, I'm sure it has a lot to do as a result of wars, but it's not because of wars. It's a result of wars, no doubt. Because you know what happens, the families lose their men, the families lose the economy gets bad, and the pressure gets on the men of the house if there is, and whatever the reasoning is. So the men are really, not all of them of course, but some of them, they can be pretty nasty towards their women. So they, and they are the ones that they abuse. Their wives, their daughters, their sisters, their sister-in-laws, or whatever. And these women, they run away from home, because for a woman, the safest place for her is really her home. And if her home is not safe, then she will not live there. And especially if she has kids, she will take the kids and run away. If she doesn't have kids, then she will get out of it, because it has to be safe. The man that she has been given to marry, it is so challenging. I cannot tell you how much. Because every single step of the way, I have to make sure that I am saying the things that are going to affect the women of Afghanistan in the right way, not in the wrong way. And at the same time, for me, the world thinks that I am Taliban, or they have given me a green card and they say, we are not going to touch her. No, that's not the case. I don't think it's going to be easy for them, because the world is so much aware of me. But at the same time, I don't have any guarantee from anybody that my life, or what I say or what I do, if I really go, say too much and they don't like it, that they're going to let me, even live for a second. It might not be the question. But I have to. And for that matter, the way I talk and what I say and how I say it is very important. I cannot just open my mouth and start running around and saying, every nasty word that comes into my head. No, I have to choose exactly how I say a phrase, what I say, that is going to be, that you as my listener will listen to it, but somebody as my enemy will not pick up something over there and use it against me. So that is the most important thing. And I have to do that. And I've been so far, I think I've been able to do it.
We're in Africa now. Liberia's former Chief Justice Gloria Scott and 3 of her family members have been sentenced to life imprisonment for murder. The 4 women were also found guilty of conspiracy and raising a false alarm to law enforcement officers. They were initially arrested and indicted in June last year in connection with the death of Charlotte Mosu, who was reportedly Miss Scott's niece. In February last year, Charlotte was murdered by unknown people at Miss Scott's home in Breville, northwest Liberia. The former Chief Justice had insisted at the time that intruders attacked her residence and killed her niece. But after a 5-month trial, a court in Monrovia, the capital, found her and 3 family members guilty of Charlotte's murder. Ms. Scott's lawyers say that they will appeal the judgment. Meanwhile, the Constitutional Court in the Democratic Republic of Congo has rejected 2 challenges to the result of last month's contested presidential election. As a result, the court has ruled that incumbent President Felix Tshisekedi had indeed received 73% of the vote. The validation comes despite independent observers reporting widespread irregularities during the December 20 vote. The poll was also marred by several logistical problems, which the opposition alleged were part of a deliberate plan to rig the results in favor of Mr. Tshisekedi. However, the Constitutional Court ruled that the reported irregularities could not have impacted overall results owing to the wide vote margin between the incumbent president and Mr. Katumbi, who came second with 18% of the vote. Now checking on the weather now in the United States, warmer days are still quite far away. The city of Charlotte in North Carolina has had severe storm with high winds and heavy rain. Now take a look at the video on your screen. The havoc this must have caused. Due to the storm, dozens of roads have been closed and tens of thousands of people left without power. And of course, the flooding that you see there. The National Weather Service says the situation would persist even today. In response, the state governor, Roy Cooper, has declared a state of emergency.
Just kept on going as if.
And over in Massachusetts, the city of Boston experienced its first major snowstorm on Tuesday. The powerful storm hit the northwest, causing coastal flooding and damaging winds that produced nearly 1 million powers. Nearby New York experienced its most significant snowfall in almost 2 years.
Weather is kind of been, the world has kind of been telling us what's going to happen. Within the last 10 to 15 years, winter has been slowly getting pushed back to January to I believe it's going to be like March, April maybe, and then all our seasons are just going to be pushed sideways basically. We're in El Nino state right now, so yeah, it's not going to be fun, but change isn't always fun. Me personally, no. I'm not a big fan of snow. I'm trying to go to Colorado, but there's less snow. But yeah, it's better than being cold. We'd rather have snow than it be cold with no snow.
So we had this snowstorm after it's like a first snowfall of the year, and we were expecting it around in December, but there was no snowfall, and suddenly we had this storm warning, and overnight we had this snowfall. So being a regular resident here, we're just cleaning cars. So you can see we have to clean all our parking lots. Usually the main roads are covered by the society or the government. It's super cold and it's still snowing, so I think it's going to get worse tomorrow as well. Let's see, hope for the best and enjoy the snow.
That's our show today. Thank you for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.